Have you ever stopped to think about how a product you just see on a shelf, something that seems maybe a bit niche, how it actually ties into these like huge global economic shifts? We're talking about the whole complex journey that gets one specific thing into, well, millions of hands across the world. Today, we're doing a deep dive into exactly that kind of product. And honestly, it represents a surprisingly massive and fast-growing part of the beauty industry.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? How the data, the numbers for just one item like this can actually tell a much bigger story, a story about how consumer habits are changing globally, how economies are shifting. It gives you insights way beyond just cosmetics.
Absolutely. So today's deep dive is all about the global contour stick market. And you might genuinely be surprised, I think, by the sheer scale of it and how consistently it's been growing. We're basing this on a really comprehensive market update. It's the Global Contour Stick Market Forecast and Trends Report from Cognitive Market Research. Our goal here for you is to pull out the most important bits of info, market size now, where it's heading, and the really interesting regional differences driving it all. So, yeah, let's get into it.
Okay, well, this report lays it out very clearly. Back in 2021, the global market for contour sticks was valued at just over $1 billion, 11,119.62 million to be precise.
Wow, okay, $1 billion.
Right. But here's the kicker, the real story. It's projected to nearly double. We're looking at almost $2.7 billion, 2,681.61 million by 2033. That works out to a pretty steady compound annual growth rate, the CAGR, of about 7.5% over the next, decade or so?
Doubling by 2033 for contour sticks.
Yeah.
That really is staggering. What exactly is driving that kind of demand? Is it all just social media trends or changing beauty ideas or something else?
It's really a potent mix of things. Social media, yeah, definitely. Platforms like TikTok, Instagram, they've kind of democratized makeup techniques that used to seem really advanced.
Right, like things only a pro could do before.
Exactly. What needed, a skilled makeup artist and a whole kit is now something anyone can try after watching a quick tutorial. So that's created this whole new level of demand, really. And then as disposable incomes go up in many parts of the world, particularly in emerging markets, people have more money for these sort of aspirational buys. It turns what might have been niche into, well, a global staple.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So if we break that growth down by region, where's the biggest action happening?
Well, North America, maybe unsurprisingly, holds a really big slice of the pie. It was sitting at around $439 million back in 2021. And the projection, over $962 million by 2033.
Still a powerhouse then.
Definitely. The U.S. is still the main market there. But what's quite interesting is Mexico. Mexico is showing a higher CAGR, almost 8.7%. So that suggests, a much faster climb as its market develops and consumers there really embrace these trends.
Huh. So even within a mature market like North America, you see these dynamic shifts underneath. Okay. So from North America, let's jump across to Europe. Are we seeing similar stuff there, or does Europe have its own kind of drivers for the contour stick trend?
Europe's interesting. It was just over $304 million in 2021, and the forecast puts it near $700 million by 2033. That's a CAGR of around 7.15%. So solid growth. But while the big players, the UK, Germany, they contribute a lot, it gets really fascinating when you look closer.
How so?
It's actually some southern and northern European countries, specifically places like Spain and Denmark. They're showing really remarkable growth rates. Spain, for example, is clocking in at almost 8.8% CAGR. And Denmark, it actually leads Europe, over 9.2% CGR.
Denmark. Wow. Okay, over 9.2%. That's definitely noteworthy.
Yeah.
What do you think is behind that kind of acceleration in Denmark? I mean, it's maybe not the first market you'd think of for a rapid beauty trend like this.
It's probably a mix, cultural adoption, maybe strong social media influence there too, and just a consumer base that's increasingly willing to experiment with new beauty things. They might not be the biggest markets in pure dollar terms, but that rate of change, that's a really key signal about how beauty consumption is evolving.
Right, the speed of adoption.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we have to talk about Asia Pacific. Always incredibly dynamic.
Oh, absolutely. Asia Pacific, it was valued around $242 million in 2021, but listen, it's expected to almost triple. We're looking at nearly $686 million by 2033. That's a really strong CAGR, over 9.1%.
Triple. Okay. China's usually the giant there.
China is still the largest contributor, yes.
No.
But the real standout, I think, is India. India boasts the highest CGR in the entire report, over 10.3%. It's projected to grow from just over $30 million to nearly $98.6 million, which just points to this incredible surge in demand. You've got a rapidly growing young population with more money to spend,
Right.
combined with that massive influence of digital content, global beauty trends hitting them hard. Japan and South Korea, they're also growing steadily, of course. But India's acceleration, that's probably the biggest long-term story in this market.
It really feels like it's not just the huge economic areas showing this growth then. Even in, regions maybe sometimes overlooked, the contour stick is finding its place. It feels like a truly global thing.
It really is. Look at South America. The market there is set to more than double, from about $61 million in 21 to over $155 million by 2033. Brazil's leading the way there. The Middle East, yeah, it's a smaller market overall, but also showing strong growth, projected to hit over $115 million by 2033. And interestingly, Qatar shows a particularly high CGR in that region, over 9.5%.
Sure, okay.
Yeah. And even in Africa, you see consistent growth. Nigeria and South Africa are contributing significantly. That market's expected to nearly triple, too, to around $62 million by 2033. It just underlines how deep and genuinely global this trend is.
Okay, so let's try and pull together the key takeaways from this deep dive. We're clearly looking at a really strong growth path for contour sticks, doubling, more than doubling actually, from about $1.1 billion in 2021 to over $2.6 billion by 2033. And that growth is fueled by, well, the broader expansion of beauty and personal care markets globally, plus rising incomes and that huge factor we talked about, growing consumer awareness, especially driven by, social media and digital content.
Exactly. And if you step back and connect it to the bigger picture, this contour stick market, its growth, it isn't just about makeup, is it? It's like a window, a fascinating lens into how aspirations are changing, where economic power is shifting globally. Sure, North America has a huge share now, but regions like Asia Pacific and Europe, they're showing incredibly dynamic growth. And it's those specific countries, India at over 10% CAGR, Spain close to 8.8%, Denmark over 9.2%. They really tell you where economic buzz and consumer trends are picking up steam, sometimes with surprising speed.
It definitely raises a big question then, doesn't it? What other product categories, things that seem maybe niche or everyday, might actually be quietly mirroring these massive global economic or societal shifts that maybe we don't pay enough attention to? Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we dig into a stack of sources to uncover some, well, really fascinating insights. It's pretty amazing how often the little things, the everyday items, actually show us these huge market shifts and surprising consumer trends. Today, we're diving deep into one of those items. It's become a quiet giant in the beauty world, the contour stick. So our mission today, we want to pull back the curtain on this specific corner of the beauty market. We're going to unpack the key dynamics, yeah, but also the surprising trends and, the deeper shifts in what consumers want that are really shaping contour sticks right now. It's definitely more than just makeup. It feels like it reflects bigger changes in how we shop and what we actually value.
And guiding us through this whole landscape, we've got some comprehensive market research insights. This stuff gives us a really thorough look at what's genuinely driving this market, from why it exploded in popularity in the first place to the subtle changes in demand and even the cool tech advancements pushing it forward.
Okay, let's get into it. So, this massive rise of the contour stick.
Yeah.
We kind of need to rewind a bit, don't we? Remember when contouring was all about complex palettes, tons of brushes, endless blending, and often, let's be honest, ending up with visible stripes if you weren't basically a pro makeup artist?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Its transformation is really something. It went from that, intimidating art form to this quick, soft sculpt. Even total beginners can subtly define their features without all the fuss. That ease, I think, is what really took it from being super niche to a daily essential for so many people, especially younger folks. It almost feels like it just popped up everywhere.
And what's really driving that, it's the sheer power of visibility. You've got the huge influence of social media trends, obviously. Then there are beauty tutorials absolutely everywhere, YouTube, TikTok. And yeah, you can't ignore the pull of celebrity endorsements. But it's not just that social media is powerful, it's how it fundamentally democratized what used to be a really specialized skill. Think about it. Contouring was like a red carpet secret, Now, someone taps on TikTok a few times and boom, they can feel like their own makeup artist. They see results instantly. And that shift from looking up at celebs to looking sideways at your peers, That's the real engine here. It makes contour sticks the easy answer for, effortlessly enhancing your features.
That's such a good point about social media giving you the how-to. But okay, once you learn the technique, why the stick? Why do people keep using it? Is it just convenience? Or is there something else going on, maybe psychologically, that makes these things so popular beyond just the trends and the tutorials? Got to be more to it.
Well, if you look at the bigger picture, a
Yeah.
huge driver is this general demand for cosmetic products that are portable and do more than one thing. You see these clever designs, right? Like the dual-ended sticks with contour on one side, highlight on the other.
Yeah, those are smart.
And it's not just clever design. It taps into a real consumer desire for efficiency and value, too. Why carry two things when one does the job? These compact, travel-friendly sticks, they're perfect for people with busy, maybe more urban lifestyles. It's real convenience, but you're not really sacrificing the performance. You can just toss it in your bag.
That grab-and-go thing is huge, definitely. But something else that feels just as big, maybe even more impactful long-term, is how the market's tackling inclusivity. We're seeing the big brands, and smaller ones too, really expanding their shade ranges. They're catering to way more diverse skin tones now. It's not just about doing it quickly, but who gets to do it quickly and, actually have it look good.
Absolutely. And it's really interesting how that push for inclusivity in beauty kind of mirrors these broader conversations we're having about representation everywhere. Having that wide spectrum of options makes contour sticks way more accessible across the globe. It definitely drives sales in multicultural regions. And honestly, it's just a really positive shift for the whole beauty industry, moving towards being more representative, more welcoming, letting more people find products that genuinely work for them and feel, seen.
Okay, so it sounds like this amazing success story, doesn't it? But like any market that grows this fast, it can't all be smooth sailing. What are some of the bumps in the road, the challenges that contour sticks are running into, even with all this growth and positive change?
Well, first off, contour sticks aren't the only game in town. They're competing hard with other popular formats, powders, creams, palettes. Professional makeup artists especially often still prefer those alternatives. Why? Because they offer more customization, more precision.
Ah, right. More control.
Exactly. It's easier to layer and blend for that really sculpted, maybe more dramatic look. That can be a bit harder sometimes with just a stick. And then there are real consumer pain points, particularly for people just starting out. A lot of people struggle, first, finding the right shade match,
All right.
and second, really getting the hang of the application technique. Nobody wants those obvious stripes on their face. That struggle can lead to disappointment, maybe even returning the product.
Yeah.
And that's obviously not great for the brands or the customer. It's a genuine hurdle for wider adoption.
I definitely remember my first attempts at contouring. It felt less like enhancing my face and
Yeah.
more like applying like weird brown lines.
Mhm.
So I totally get why shade matching and technique are critical issues for brands to solve. And there's another practical challenge mentioned too, right? About how long they last, or rather don't last, because they dry out.
That's right. It's about their lifespan. Think about it, unlike something you use every single day, like moisturizer, a contour stick might only get used a few times a week. And if it dries out before you finish it, that definitely affects how you feel about its value. Are you going to repurchase something that didn't last as long as you expected, or that you struggled to use up? Probably not. It impacts repurchase frequency.
Okay.
But looking forward, the market's already adapting. We're seeing some really interesting trends shaping the next generation of contour sticks. There's a huge, very clear move towards clean, vegan, and cruelty-free beauty. It's massive.
Yeah, that's everywhere now.
Consumers are actively choosing products that are ethically produced. No animal testing, fewer potentially harmful chemicals. It's really pushing brands to prioritize sustainability, not just in the formula, but the whole production process. It comes from a real shift in consumer values.
And beyond the ethics, there's this other cool evolution happening, the line blurring between makeup and skincare. Now we're seeing things like contour sticks actually packed with skin-boosting ingredients. What's the deal there?
Yes, exactly. We're talking about adding things like vitamin E, great antioxidant, protects the skin, or hyaluronic acid, which is amazing for hydration, pulling moisture in.
So it does double duty.
Right. It basically turns your contour stick into a low-key skincare treatment while it's sculpting. And SPF too sometimes, which is just smart. It's not just a gimmick, though. It really reflects consumers wanting efficiency and, well, more bang for their buck. Why buy two products if one does both? It fits into that whole wellness trend. People expect products to offer more holistic benefits now.
Okay, and finally, we have to talk about tech. Technology's role here is It's kind of wild how much it's sneaking into our beauty routines, isn't it?
Oh, it's absolutely game-changing. We're seeing really specific tech innovations like augmented reality AR and AI tools for shade selection.
Virtual try-on stuff.
Yeah. Exactly. These let you virtually try on products using your phone camera. You get personalized recommendations based on your actual skin tone. It just makes the whole shopping experience better, especially online. And crucially, it really helps cut down on product returns because people are making much more informed choices before they even buy. That's a huge win for brands, better bottom line, happier customers, more loyalty. It all connects.
So tying this all together, what we've seen is that the contour stick market, yeah, it might seem small, but it's incredibly dynamic. It's constantly changing, and it's driven by this really interesting mix of shifting consumer taste, big leaps in technology, and this growing, really powerful focus on ethical beauty and wellness.
And that leaves us with a thought, maybe for you listening. Think about how the evolution of just one specific thing, like a contour stick, actually mirrors these huge societal shifts. Changes in our values, how deeply technology is embedded in our lives now, our ongoing search for convenience and ethical ways to consume. So the question is, what other seemingly small product areas are going through similar deep dives right now? What other surprising insights are hiding in plain sight?